Rav Galinsky, alav hashalom, was one of the giants of his generation and surely thereafter. Giant in Torah from Novardok. In Novardok, one of the things that they learned that it's critical for a person to run away from anything to do with pride. So anytime somebody would give him honor, especially since he was so famous scholar, he would literally do things that are ridiculous just to bring shame to himself and make sure that they're not giving him any honor. Of course, if somebody doesn't deserve honor and they get honor, them bringing shame to themselves is not really such a big deal. They don't deserve it in the first place. But when someone really does deserve honor and he's getting it, but yet he runs away from it, that's significant. So for example, when he went to one wedding and they wanted him to speak, and he told them the tzaddik, the kadesh, the kadosh, the this, the that, all the compliments that they gave him, and they gave him the microphone. So he didn't like the honor that they gave him, so he took the microphone and he started putting it in his ear as if he never saw a microphone. After already giving thousands of lectures, knowing everything there is about microphone, he put it in his ear. What? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Like as if he's like some fool. So people were laughing and having a good time, and he was enjoying the fact that he made himself look like a fool. And then after that, he says, ladies and gentlemen, Rabotai Yekarim, I'd like to introduce to you to the tzaddik, the kadosh, the chacham, the giant in Torah, the this, the that, Yankale Galinsky, meaning who is he? He's introducing himself. Everybody's laughing. Why? He goes, it's funny, right? I found it funny also. Why are you guys giving me all these compliments? What am I, the Khatan? You just gave me a bunch of compliments for no reason? Hey, let's teach Torah. What are you giving me all these compliments? This Rav Galinsky, a Kadosh, a Ta'or, he was around during the time of the Zionists, that they were doing everything possible to destroy Judaism. And one of the things they would do is they would go to different places to encourage people to make Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael. As soon as the people go to their events, they would tell them, listen, if you're going to come here, you have to go to this school. There is no other school available in Eretz Yisrael. This is the school that's available. What kind of school? It's a school that's pretty much public school, anti-Torah school, Zionist school. Even though there were yeshivot, there were places to learn Torah, they would make it seem as if those things didn't exist. And to make sure that the people would sign up their kids to the school, they would simply tell them, listen, if you want food for your kids, the only way you're going to get food is if they go to school. There is no other way. So either they starve to death without going to school, or they go to school. So now, Rabotai Yekarim, many of these simple people from Morocco, from Iran, from Syria, from different parts of Europe, and so on and so forth, that were religious people, what are they going to do? They want to go to Eretz Yisrael, they want to make Aliyah. So let's sign up their kids. And many of them, unfortunately, the second they would get into Eretz Yisrael, their kids would be taken off the derech, completely lose everything relating to Judaism, and disconnect themselves from their parents, their grandparents, and all of their ancestors before, going back even to Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? He started going to non-religious schools, anti-Torah schools, and as I know perfectly well myself from my own blood and sweat and tears of all the things that I had to do to change my life in order to do tshuva, to fix the miseducation that I got as a child, these Zionists wanted to make sure that this intermarriage and destruction of Judaism would continue even in the land of Israel. And they would tell them all types of lies by forcing them to sign up to non-religious school. Rav Galinsky was part of one of those meetings one time, but he already knew about these Zionist, evil Zionists. The Zionist speaker spoke, and the crowd wasn't really convinced. The speaker said, does anybody else have anything to say? So Rav Galinsky, he was a very small man, he said, yeah, I have something to say. So come up on stage. They brought him on stage. He was a very little person, giant in Torah, giant in Kedusha, but small in appearance. So he would stand on top of the stage. He says to the people, no, you have an opportunity to go to Eretz Yisrael and you don't even realize what you have. Do you understand how many mitzvot we have in the Torah that have to do with Eretz Yisrael? 2/3 of the Shas, the Talmud Bavli, have to do with Eretz Yisrael. 2/3 of the Chumash have to do with Eretz Yisrael. So many mitzvot. You have to understand that Moshe Rabbeinu, as it says in the Gemara Masechet Sotah, wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael. And the Gemara says in Masechet Sotah, page 14a, why did Moshe Rabbeinu want to enter Eretz Yisrael? I mean, clearly Hashem said no. So says Rabbi Simlai, did Moshe need to really enter Eretz Yisrael for the sake of himself? so he could eat Israeli watermelon. Rather, it was because Moshe Rabbeinu knew that there are specific mitzvot you could only do in Eretz Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him, because you want to go to Eretz Yisrael just for the sake of fulfilling the mitzvot, not to get reward in this world, and not even to get reward in the next world, but rather because you want to fulfill the mitzvot of the Torah, to give them a permanent status, a permanent part of Am Yisrael, just like the rest of the Torah. Because you want to do it, I'm going to give you the credit as if you fulfilled those mitzvot, even though I'm not going to allow you to enter Eretz Yisrael. So comes Rav Galinsky and says, you, Rabotai, have an opportunity to go to Eretz Yisrael and fulfill those mitzvot and even do something that even Moshe Rabbeinu was not able to do. How great is that? All of a sudden, all the Zionists are clapping for this rabbi, and the people, wow, we can do like Moshe Rabbeinu. That's interesting. And then comes Rav Galinsky and says to them, he says, Rabotai Yekarim, what did Moshe Rabbeinu want to do? He wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael to fulfill the mitzvot, not to go to a vacation in Tel Aviv, not to go and lay under the sun on the beach in Netanya, but to fulfill the mitzvot. And these Reshaim Zionists will never allow you to do it, because they're anti-Torah and their number one goal is to destroy it. And before he can start the next sentence, they tackled him off the stage and started beating him senseless. And the Rabbanit, his wife, was in the crowd, started screaming, they're killing my husband, until they finally let him go. But he was full of bruises, full of blood, but full of Kedusha. Because he told Am Yisrael the truth, even though it literally put his life on the line. Many people think that living in Eretz Yisrael is something you can do no matter what. The truth be told, the greatest poskim throughout all of our history have told us specifically, if it comes to living in Eretz Yisrael, if it's going to help your Torah learning, help your religiosity, help you get close to Hashem, or you should live it.
אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון, ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל מה שיפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.